What's up YouTube, this is Harvey 1997 here, coming at you today with a budget deck profile. So today I'm going to be doing my Paleozoic deck. I said this is budget. It is post-invasion vengeance. There's no Toadally Awesome in here. So don't lose hope. If you don't have Toadally Awesome, you can still play the deck. Trust me. I've been doing a lot of testing with it online and it still works. Doesn't have quite the power plays, but it's still a good deck. So let's start with the main deck, shall we? Playing 3 copies of Swap Frog and 3 copies of Ronintoadin. I'm not playing Dupe Frog in this build because you don't summon from the deck, so you don't really need the frog as much. But this is a nice little bread and butter combo where you normal swap to send this, and that doesn't instantly get you a play, but the next turn you can normal summon Swap Frog again to send one of these from the deck, and then you have plays. Make rank 2s. And if you open Swap Frog and any other, like if you open one of Swap Frog and then either second Swap Frog or Ronintoadin, then you can make a rank 2 turn 1. So that's pretty good. I found that to be a pretty solid ratio, even without the Dupe Frogs, to be quite honest. And that is the end of the monster count. Yeah. Now, for the rest of the deck, it's 35 traps. So, let's get right into it, shall we? We've got 3 copies of Pekaya, your trade-in for the deck. Best card in here. 3 copies of Olenoidus, the themed MST. 3 copies of Canadia, the Book of Moon. It's only for your opponent's monsters, do keep that in mind. 3 Hallucigenia, this is Shrink, cuts the attack and defense of any monster in the field in half. Note that if you use this or the other Paleozoic that increases or decreases attack points, that if you use it during the damage step, your opponent, Paleozoics in the grave cannot be chained to that, so do keep that in mind. Now we've got the new support. We've got 3 copies of Paleozoic Marella. This one is, when it's activated, you send a spell or trap from your, or not spell or trap, just a trap from your deck to the graveyard. So it's usually going to be breakthrough skill, but you can also, like turn 1, 2, whatever, send extra Paleozoics to the graveyard to really get your plays going, and that usually does come up. But more often than not, you really want to get breakthrough skill so you can get around floodgate monsters. We got 3 copies of Mischief. So this one is discard a card and banish a face-up card on the field. It's pretty good. And we got 3 copies of Leoncalia, Coilia, however you say that. If you would not be playing the Frog Engine, I would not play 3 of this. I would probably play just like 1. But since we are playing the Ronintoadin, we are able to kind of take better advantage of this card, make it more alive. So it's always good. And I'm only playing 2 copies of Eldonia. It's the only one that I'm playing less than 3 of. Again, if I didn't have the frogs in here, I probably would drop one of these, or 2 of them, whatever, and increase this one. But anyway, this one gives 500 attack and defense to a monster. It's not as relevant of a boost, so I mean, it's nice to have an extra Paleozoic name, but that's really about it for it. It doesn't do much else past that, so it's a good card. 500 attack and defense does sometimes come up, but usually you just use it to trigger stuff in grave. So for the non-Paleozoic traps, we're playing 1 copy of XYZ Reborn. So this is, you special summon XYZ from your graveyard and attach this card to it as material. So what a lot of people don't know is that these 2 guys don't need a Paleozoic as material, they need a trap as material. And that's a trap card. So it works actually fairly well. So, yeah, you could probably play 2. 3 probably seems a bit excessive, because if you don't have the XYZ yet, then these aren't going to help you make an XYZ. But I think 2 would probably be fine. I'm just playing 1 because I don't have any other ones, and yeah. No, I haven't had tons of practice with the card anyway, so I'm just keeping it at 1 for now. Got 2 copies of Breakthrough Skill. You really like to send this from the deck with Marella, and opening it is not bad either. Like, hard drawing it is not bad, so I mean, yeah, we're going to play 2. Also, this is a target for Leoncalia. So, yeah, being able to get multiple uses from the graveyard from a breakthrough skill is pretty sweet. Now we've got 3 copies of Jar of Greed and 3 copies of Legacy of Yata-Garasu. Draw a card. Draw 1 card, draw 2 cards if your opponent controls a spirit. That's probably not going to come up. They're basically both draw 1 card. Catch is, since you're playing Paleozoics, these actually wind up making you plus. And if you have Anomalocaris in your field, for each Anomalocaris you have, you're going to probably make another plus, since you're almost always excavating a monster off of this. Playing 2 copies of Waboku because chainable traps are good, and getting free revivals is also good. And guess what else is good? Protection. Waboku's good. Printed from like the first set, and it's still relevant. Who would have thought? And for the last trap, we're playing 1 copy of Starlight Road. So things to note about the main deck. Again, this is a very, very budget build. So no Card of Demise in here. Wetlands is not in here because I don't think the card is very good, to be honest. Really, it gives you a gap from 2400. Basically, like, if you have a monster that you have to deal with more than 2400 attack, what are you going to do? Your Xyz can't get over it, your traps can't get over it. Oh well, Wetlands won't really help you a whole lot there. So, yeah, it's nice, but it's usually, it's really just a win more card in my opinion. You can play Raigeki if you have it. I actually was playing 1 copy in the deck I was using online, but I wound up taking out later because, again, I'm trying to make this as budget friendly as I can. Duality is another good option, especially if you're playing Card of Demise, but even without, Duality is still not bad. So, yeah, and also some other things I tested for the main deck. Here, I'll go over these real quick. Other things I tested include like Majesty's Fiend. That was actually pretty good. Free tributes, especially with Ronintoadin. Played the Dupe Frogs. It really isn't as good without Toadally Awesome. That's to be expected though. Imperial Iron Wall. Not that good anymore now that Dynamiscus is out, since banishing is one of our best forms of removal, so this isn't kind of not relevant anymore in my opinion. You can try a Threatening Roar instead of Waboku if you'd like. I like Waboku because you can chain it on the attack, but this also has its uses, so it's really a preference with those two. Compulse is another great option. Most decks aren't hurt by it anymore, but being able to bounce something that can be hurt and then be able to revive a Paleozoic is always good. I was originally playing 3 Accumulated Fortune for more draw power. I wound up cutting it because, now that we have so many Paleozoics, I really just wanted to make this as turbo into those as I could, and this didn't really help that. Plus, it's really tight on space. Pretty much the same thing for 3 Reckless Greed as Accumulated Fortune. So, Scrap Iron Scarecrow, I was fiddling around with that for a while. It's as good as it was. I'd really rather just have the Spell Trap card zone open. So, meh. And you can play more breakthrough skills if you'd like. Another Eldonia wouldn't be so bad if you can, it's not a bad card. It's space, really, that's it. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the main deck. Let's move on to the extra deck, shall we? Been saying shall we a lot, haven't I? Anyway, so, extra deck monsters. We've got 3 copies of Anomalocaris and 3 copies of Opabinia. Trust me, you need 3 of each. Without Triatoad, or Toadally Awesome, whatever you want to call them, you will almost always go through all 3 of these, or at least 2 Anomalocaris. And Opabinia, you don't usually use all 3, however, if your opponent stops one, you really need to summon a second one. There was a game I was playing the other day where basically I summoned one and he negated it. I summoned a second one and I don't remember what he did to it. He removed it from the field somehow. And then when I finally got the third one out and I was able to start my plays going, I was out of cards, but being able to get that search for a Pakaya to my hand and then discard something else, so it kept me in that game, and I wound up winning that duel. So yeah, 3 Opabinia and 3 Anomalocaris is a must. Trust me. Next, I'm playing 1 copy of Cat Shark. It's not as good without Toadally Awesome. That's just to be, because because when it doubles a monster's attack and defense, these guys are unaffected by monster effects, so Cat Shark cannot double their stats. But it's also unable to be destroyed by battle if it has a material that was originally water, so that includes the Paleozoics and the frogs. Yeah, it's really for boosting up your, like, this guy and some other stuff which I'll get into later. So yeah, that's Cat Shark for you. Playing one copy of Sky Cavalry Centaurea. Again, I'm trying to keep this as budget friendly as possible. This would definitely be at least 2, if not 3 of, if you're not playing budget. And assuming you're not playing Toadally Awesome, if you're not playing that, then, well, you probably would keep this at 1, but hey. Yeah, this is what helps you get around problem cards, really. You can bounce stuff, and it also can't be destroyed by battle while it has material, so that's good. I'm playing, well, should be playing. This is one copy of Socuteboss. I just traded my second copy without even thinking about it last weekend. Really, the engine should be 2 copies of Socuteboss and 1 Ghostrick Angel of Mischief. So what they do is they can destroy a monster on the field, and whose attack is less than or equal to the total attack of Ghostricks you control. So if you have 2 Socuteboss, you can destroy 2 monsters with 2800 or less attack. And those monster zones cannot be used as long as this card's on the field. So that's really good, but again, I traded him, so I can't really use that anymore, although I suggest you do. Since I'm just trying to kind of fill up the extra deck, this is another kind of fun option, Armored Kappa. I've never made him, but hey, you got plenty of space in here, so you got him, why not? Gotchi's another thing that could go in here. That's it for the rank 2s. Another thing that should be in here is a number 45. However, again, I've been trying to get one for weeks just for my number collection, since it's the only number I'm missing right now, but I haven't found one. So, there we go. You should have a number 45 in here. 1 or 2. Playing 2 Downerd Magicians. I've literally only made it once, but that one time I made it, it was game determining. And again, you got plenty of space, so, you know, why not throw one in there? I've got 2 just because space. And finally, because we have all the, because we have Starlight Road, we're able to make Stardust Dragon with that. So let's play a copy of Stardust Dragon. And yeah, guys, that is it for this deck right here. As I said, this is extremely budget friendly. I priced everything out on here, and it was under $60. I believe the total amount came out to about $52, pricing it out on TCG Player for everything. Now, I was going by first edition near mint on the lowest rarities of everything. So, like Breakthrough Skill, yeah, you're getting a first ed mint, but it's going to be like the Structure Deck Light Sworn or Battle Pack or something. You're not getting whatever. You're not getting like the ulti for this or anything like that. No. Or according to this price anyway. But if you're trying to play budget, you're probably not focused about that anyway. Another cute engine I was playing out, if you want to save yourself about $15, because the frogs are kind of, these 5 frogs are kind of pricey. Another engine you could try out would be 2 copies of Plague Spreader Zombie, 2 copies of Quillbolt Hedgehog, and 1 copy of Reasoning. It sounds strange, but being able to resolve Reasoning is actually pretty, it's a blowout. And Plague Spreader and Quillbolt are also really good, because you can detach a Quillbolt for whatever effect, then bring it right back if you have your Plague Spreader Zombie. Make another Xyz, detach Quillbolt, bring it right back since you still have your Plague Spreader Zombie, then finally overlay those 2 and keep going with stuff. They really extend your plays a lot as long as you can keep a steady flow of traps going. Quillbolt will essentially be another free monster every time you want to make an Xyz. So yeah, they're not bad. I just went with the frogs instead because they're a little bit more consistent. But again, don't feel, you know, like that engine is actually still pretty good. I will say that much. So yeah, that is it for this video, guys. Tell me what you guys think about Paleozoics and what kind of changes you would make to this budget deck. Also, tell me what kind of changes you would make if you weren't playing budget. Obviously, Toadally Awesome, but that's beside the point. So yeah, that's it guys. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I will catch you in my next one.